He was wealthy, powerful, and respected by the outside world. To the city, he was a family man, a successful businessman with a beautiful wife and 2 grown children. But inside the walls of our office, he was a predator. Hi everyone, you are welcome to my channel. If you like our stories and similar infidelity stories, please do well to subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. And if you are already a subscriber, thanks for stopping by, and do not forget to turn on your notification button so as to get notifications anytime we post our stories. Now let's dive into the gist. My name is Esther. I was 25 years when I started working with Mr. Edward. I was one of his victims too. I had heard the whispers long before he ever noticed me. Female colleagues warned me indirectly, telling me not to stay too late, not to go into his office alone, not to smile at him too much. But in the same breath, they told me, keep quiet. He can fire you if you cross him. I thought maybe they were exaggerating, until one evening, he called me into his office after everyone else had gone home. He locked the door and smiled in that sly way that made my skin crawl. He said he admired my work, that I was special. His hand brushed against mine, then slid further until I froze in fear. That was how it began. At first, I felt shame. Then I felt trapped. He reminded me each time that I needed my paycheck, that no one would believe me over him. I stayed quiet, like the others. But life has a way of turning secrets into storms. Weeks later, my body began to change, and a test confirmed it. I was pregnant, and the father was none other than Mr. Edward. When I told him, thinking maybe he would take responsibility, his face hardened. You will get rid of it, he said coldly. Do you hear me? No one must ever know. I shook my head. No, Mr. Edward. This is my child. That was the moment everything began to unravel for him and for me. The days after my refusal felt like walking through fire. Mr. Edward became cruel. In meetings, he snapped at me in front of everyone. In private, he threatened me with words so sharp they cut into my sleep. If you keep this pregnancy, Esther, I'll destroy you, he warned one night, his eyes burning. You will never work in this city again. You'll regret the day you crossed me. But something inside me had shifted. I had lived in fear too long. My hand often rested on my stomach, and I whispered silently to the life growing inside me. For the first time, I realized my silence had not protected me. It had only given him more power. Rumors began to spread. My colleagues noticed my pale face, my quiet mornings spent in the bathroom. Whispers floated through the corridors. Is Esther pregnant? Mr. Edward panicked. He pulled me into his office again. Do you understand what will happen if this gets out? He said, sweat shining on his forehead. My wife, the board, the authorities, everyone will know. You will destroy everything I have built. I looked him straight in the eye for the first time. No, Mr. Edward. You destroyed yourself the moment you started taking advantage of us. I'm not your secret anymore. The fear that once chained me began to fall away. His threats no longer held the same weight. What he didn't know was that I had already spoken to someone. I had gone to human resources. I had gone to a lawyer. And soon, the walls he built to hide his sins were going to collapse. It happened faster than I expected. One Monday morning, I arrived at the office and found people standing in small groups, their faces pale with shock. Papers lay forgotten on desks, phones rang unanswered. The atmosphere was tense, heavy, electric. Have you heard? One of my colleagues whispered. It's about Mr. Edward. By noon, the news had spread through the whole building. An anonymous report had been sent to the authorities, and copies of messages he had sent to several women in the office were leaked. Details of his late-night advances, his threats, and his secret meetings all laid bare. My heart raced as I sat at my desk, listening to the chaos unfold. Some women cried quietly, some sighed in relief. For the first time, the silence was broken. Mr. Edwards stormed into the office, his face red, veins popping on his forehead. He shouted, he cursed, he denied everything. But the evidence was already in the hands of the investigators. By evening, his wife walked in. She was graceful, dressed in a black coat, her face a mask of controlled rage. She didn't look at me. She didn't look at anyone. She only looked at her husband and said in a voice that silenced the whole room, "I know everything." And that was the moment he broke. That night, Mr. Edward's empire crumbled. The authorities arrived. He was escorted out of the building under flashing cameras. His name was on the news before midnight, his face plastered across every screen in New York. The man who once walked into the office with so much pride, who had made us all tremble in fear, was now reduced to nothing. His wife filed for divorce. His board members voted to remove him from the company. Former employees stepped forward with their stories. One after another, voices that had been silent for years rose up. As for me, I stood quietly by the window, watching the lights of the city. My hands rested on my stomach. I was not ashamed anymore. I was not afraid. Mr. Edward had built his world on power, fear, and silence. But in one night, his ego was watered down, his secrets exposed, and his name ruined. And me? I had found my voice. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about every woman he had hurt, every whisper in the bathroom, every silent tear at a desk. Mr. Edward fell because he thought we were too weak to fight. But he forgot one thing. Even the quietest voice, when spoken with courage, can bring down the proudest man. Have you heard or experienced similar situation? Please tell us how you handle it in the comment section, and do not forget to turn on your notification button so as to get notifications anytime we post our stories. Thank you, and see you in my next video.